Hi, everybody. We are going to continue our venture with Orpheus Takes a Solo. So we left off the other day on page 331 at the bottom. So Orpheus picks up Apollo's lyre, plays it, and that's the cliffhanger we ended on. So today, let's back up. If you were a hot seat the other day, now you're going to be a cold seat and vice versa. With that said, let's check this out. So Orpheus finished the song. He looked up sheepishly at Apollo. I'm so sorry, my lord. I couldn't help myself. You may kill me now. I've played the lyre. My life is complete. He knelt and offered the instrument to the god. Apollo shook his head. No, my boy, keep the lyre. I'll make another one. Orpheus's eyes widened. Really? You deserve it. Take the lyre. Make music across the earth. Teach others to play. Just do me a favor. Don't teach them Stairway to Heaven. I'm really sick of that song. Orpheus bowed and groveled and thanked the god. He did exactly what Apollo asked. He traveled the world teaching others to make lyres and play beautiful music. He collected songs from every land. He even journeyed to Egypt, where he added the music um, uh, of that ancient country to his repertoire. He perfected his own music and singing. And whenever he found someone trying to learn Stairway to Heaven, he took away their instrument and smashed it against a wall. Orpheus became so talented, his music could bring entire cities to a standstill. He'd walk through a marketplace playing his lyre, and everyone would freeze. Merchants would stop selling, pickpockets would stop stealing, chickens would stop clucking, and babies would stop crying. Mobs of people would follow him out of the town just to hear him play. They'd walk behind him for hundreds of miles until finally they'd look around in a daze and think, I live in Egypt. Why am I in Jerusalem? Orpheus just kept getting better. Wild animals were powerless against his music. When he'd walk through the forest, lions gathered around and rolled over so he could pet their bellies while he sang. Wolves rubbed against his legs and wagged their tails when they did that song he liked, Hungry Like a Wolf. I love that song. Birds flocked silently in the trees, listening as Orpheus played, hoping they could pick up some tips and improve their singing. Finally, Orpheus's music became so powerful it could affect the environment. Trees moved through the earth, scuttling their roots like crabs, so they could get closer to his lyre. Boulders wept condensation when he sang. Rolling Stones followed him down the road. Probably the band Rolling Stones too, because those dudes look old enough to have known Orpheus. Rivers stopped in their course to hear him. Clouds anchored themselves overhead so they could have nosebleeds for his concerts. Nothing in the entire world could resist Orpheus. His music was like the gravity of the sun, drawing everything toward him. When he wasn't teaching music, he did a bunch of heroic stuff. For instance, he sailed aboard the Argo, but we'll get to that in the chapter on Jason. Stay tuned. Get it? Music? Stay tuned. Well, Tyson thought that was funny. Orpheus became so famous he couldn't go anywhere without attracting a mob of fangirls and fanboys. He sang and hearts melted. He won awards, he got marriage proposals from all over, and so many views on his YouTube channel that the site crashed. He was bigger than Elvis, bigger than the Biebs, go Bieber, and bigger than insert name of whatever boy band is popular this week. Sorry, I don't keep track. Just to escape his own fame, Orpheus returned home to Thrace because people there didn't care about him. Funny how that works. No matter how important you get out in the world, the people you grew up with are still like, yeah, whatever. Hi, Dad, Orpheus would say. He had to come home to get away from the millions of fans. Fans? His dad grumbled. Why do you have fans? Well, my music can stop rivers and make trees move, and one time an entire city full of people followed me for hundreds of miles to hear me play. His dad scowled. You still can't even hold the sword properly. Well, in Thrace, Orpheus spent most of his time with the followers of Dionysus, since they at least appreciated good party music. Orpheus helped organize the Dionysian mysteries, which were a big spiritual festival. with lots of wine, music, and drama in honor of the god. Not that Dionysus needed any more drama, but I guess the music was a nice addition. But even in Thrace, Orpheus had crazed fans. During the festivals, the Maenads would get drunk and start flirting with him, and since Orpheus only cared about his music, he wouldn't respond. And the Maenads would get angry. A few times they came close to rioting and tearing him apart. His mom, Calliope, decided that for his own safety, Orpheus should get married. Maybe this would make his fans back off. She talked with Apollo, who happened to have an eligible young demigod daughter named Eurydice. Calliope arranged the backstage pass for Eurydice and Orpheus's next concert. The two of them met, and it was love at first sight, or at least by the end of the first set. As the daughter of Apollo, Eurydice had music in her blood. She understood Orpheus immediately, and they chatted all through intermission back in Orpheus's dressing room. After his final encore, Orpheus brought Eurydice on stage and announced that they were getting married. His fans wailed and ripped their hair out, but Eurydice looked so beautiful and Orpheus looked so happy that the crowd graciously refrained from stampeding the stage. For weeks, the social media buzzed about what a cute couple they were, though nobody could decide what their ship name should be, Ortis or Euripheus. The wedding was attended by all the beautiful people and the gods. The nine muses provided the music, Apollo officiated, Dionysus was the flower boy. Okay, I might be making that up. Hymenios, the god of marriage ceremonies, showed up in person to lead the procession, though strangely he cried as he escorted the bride down the aisle. His clothes were funeral black, and his clothes were funeral black. His sacred torch was supposed to burn cheerfully, but it only sputtered and smoked. The guests wondered about that. It was a pretty bad omen for a marriage to come, but everybody was scared to ask him about it. As for Orpheus and Eurydice, they were too in love to notice. At the reception, the groom sang so sweetly to his bride that the whole audience broke in tears. They would have been the most romantic. They should have had the most romantic honeymoon ever. Unfortunately, a stalker ruined everything. You probably think I mean a stalker for Orpheus, but nope, turns out his wife had a crazed fan of her own. For years, a minor god named Aristios had been trying to get Eurydice's attention. Maybe you remember Aristios from the last chapter, Cyrene's kid? If not, don't worry about it. He was the god of beekeeping and cheesemaking. Not exactly a major player. Anyway, he had a huge crush on Eurydice, but she didn't know he existed. Aristios went crazy with despair when she married Orpheus. Eurydice was making a terrible mistake. Why should she marry the best musician in the world when she could marry a cheese god? Aristios had to make her see reason. One afternoon, during the honeymoon, Eurydice and Orpheus were relaxing in a beautiful meadow in the forest. Orpheus decided to play his lyre for a while because even musical geniuses need practice. So Eurydice went for a stroll by herself. Big mistake. Aristios followed, lurking in the bushes. He waited until Eurydice was half a mile from the meadow when he jumped out in front of her and yelled, "Marry me!" What was Aristios thinking? I suppose his only role model for women was his mom, Cyrene. She wasn't exactly the romantic type. She won the affection of her first husband by killing a lion. She won the second husband by trying to cut off his head. Maybe Aristios figured if he had acted aggressive, Eurydice would finally notice him. She noticed him all right. She screamed and ran away. 9 times out of 10, if somebody jumps out at you and yells, "Marry me," screaming for help and running away are an excellent idea. In this case, however, Eurydice would have been smarter to punch Aristios in the face. He was a cheese god after all, a cheese god. He probably wouldn't. He probably would have cried and fled. Eurydice panicked. She didn't look where she was going. She stumbled through some tall grass, straight into a nest of poisonous snakes. A viper sank its fangs through her ankle, and the young bride instantaneously collapsed.